everyone. Welcome to another episode of Abby and Mandie's Adventures in Odyssey podcast.
We have another interview today.
And this time, we did not give Josh the impression that we'd be interviewing him.
Thankfully. Well, today we will be interviewing one of the most known Adventures in Odyssey writers out there.
Okay. Let's welcome Paul McCusker. So, how did you first start working with Focus on the Family and Adventures in Odyssey?
Well, I had been writing plays for for a lot of churches for quite a while. And because of that, I had become friends with Chuck Bolte, who was working with another ministry at the time. And he and I wound up working together. And Chuck was consulting with Focus on the Family because they started to do radio dramas. They did a program called Family Portraits. And that was the forerunner to what became Adventures in Odyssey. And Chuck came to me and said, well, I'm working with this organization called Focus on the Family, and they're doing audio dramas. Would you be interested in writing any scripts for them? And I said, well, I've never written an audio drama, but sure, I'm game to try it. And so Chuck was the one that introduced me to Focus, and I freelanced for them for a while, and then went on staff when they started Adventures in Odyssey, the program.
Okay. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Do you have a favorite Adventures in Odyssey character?
No, I have great affection for all of the characters for different reasons. I don't know that I necessarily have a favorite because they're all so very different, and I enjoy writing for all of them. And, of course, I enjoy working with the actors that play them. So I don't know. I think I have equal affection for all of them for different reasons.
Yeah, I like each character for a different reason.
yeah, too. Okay, this next question is kind of related to the first question. What job did you have before working with Focus?
Well, I was, as I said, I was doing a lot of writing, what they would call copywriting, or writing advertising copy and the back cover copy of the book. Sort of an advertising writer for a while. And then I went to work with the ministry, as I said, with Chuck Bolte, that was, I was like their communications director. I wrote a lot of their newsletters, a lot of the communications to their donors, that sort of thing. And then on the side, during all those years, I was writing plays and sketches and musicals that were performed mostly by churches. So my tent making, to use the biblical term, was writing advertising copy, and that was my tent making, which supported my writing for churches.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, Mandie goes to an acting camp every year before she does a play, and one year I saw that they did one of your scripts.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there are a bunch of them out there still.
I forgot we did that. That's awesome.
Is there any chance that any characters we haven't heard from in a while will come back sometime in the near future?
Well, that's always possible. Unless we have characters specifically leave Odyssey like we did with Marty, and others, a handful of others like that. There's always a chance that characters might make a return. Well, of course, unless they're dead, like Blackers. But the rest of them, a lot of times what we'll do, depending on the availability of our actors, is certain characters will kind of go into the background, and we don't hear from them for a long time. And then we'll decide, oh, well, here's a show that would be really good to have that character in. Like having Gail Jacobs in the Labyrinth episodes, or Jack and Joanne. We've not heard of the last of them. There's just a number of characters may reappear. We just never really promise when that'll happen.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm always like, surprise, this character came back, and I was like, oh my goodness. But, Yes. Can you give an example of a time when you used a listener's idea for an Adventures in Odyssey character or episode?
Well, I suppose, I suppose the most, the classic story, of course, would be the character Eugene Melton, because we had received a letter from a fan who said, you need to create a character just like my father, who is a genius, but he's always losing his teeth. And we thought, that's a really good idea. And so we went ahead and developed the character Eugene. And it's funny, too, because if you listen to Eugene, in those first couple of episodes, there are a couple of gags about him always losing his teeth. And then after a while, we just stopped doing that. But it was a fan letter that triggered the creation of Eugene Melton.
Oh, wow.
So you never really know, because we do read these letters. We do take them very seriously. And if ideas fit within the show, then we'll try to plug them in, and if not, then we don't. But you never know.
What about an episode? Is there an episode that was sort of created by a listener?
Well, it varies sometimes. If a listener will write in and say, why is it that you... a couple of episodes, because a listener had written in and said, all of your episodes take place either in a city or in a small town, but you've never done any episodes that take place way out in the country. And so as a result of that, we did do a couple of episodes. I think during the trip where Eugene and Bernard crossed country, there was one episode set in in a very small country environment. And I think we did that because we had received a letter from a fan saying, why don't you do one? In fact, I think the name of the character might have been the same name as the person who had written the letter.
Okay.
So we did that as well.
Oh, wow.
Now, a lot of times we get letters from fans, and it'll be something like, Dear Adventures in Odyssey, please do a story about a girl named Emily who loves ponies. Love, Emily. So that's a bit vague. Leaves the name clear, but the idea about doing a story about a pony is a little bit harder to get our brains around.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
So, what is Monty up to now? I sort of expected to hear him in Album 55 during the conclusion of the Green Ring Conspiracy, The Labyrinth.
Yeah, Monty could reappear. We don't have any specific plans, but it was a lot of fun having him in for that show.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Monty.
Presumably he's still working for the Secret Service.
Okay.
So what is your favorite part about working with the actors?
Oh, I think it's just a lot of fun. The fact that they come into the studio with a lot of energy, a lot of ideas. Of course, it's always wonderful to hear them do the lines, get the words, get the characters the way they do. And that's always a lot of fun. And over all the years, we've always tried to maintain a family environment in the studio. And a lot of the actors, even the ones we don't work with regularly, have noted that you kind of come in and you feel like you're at a family reunion rather than going in to do work. So we're it's fun to be with them and fun to work with them like that.
Okay. Is there any older episodes that you would like to go back and redo, such as making it better or making a different character the main character for that episode?
Well, I mean, there's always the danger of that, but over 700 episodes, it's easy to go back with everything we've learned and want to make adjustments, but we tend to resist doing that, only because once you start that, it's very hard to stop, because you always find things that you'd like to change, either lines or something we did in the production or whatever. But so we're very wary to do that. Now, there are some shows that are called lost episodes that we pulled for various reasons. I think there was one show that we did years and years ago about homeschooling that we pulled just because it almost instantly, because of the changes in homeschooling, the episode itself being out of date, it was already out of touch by the time we produced it. And I wondered about that, thought about going back and redoing one or two of those lost episodes and fixing what was wrong with them at the time so that they would still be good now.
Yeah, I like the homeschoolers in the show because both Mandie and I are homeschoolers, so we think it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. We just had a huge speech competition that took place at Focus on the Family. I judged part of it on Saturday morning, and of course, and I don't say this just to flatter you guys, but I mean there is a level of quality in the intelligence and character of homeschooling that I think is just remarkable, and capturing that in some episodes would probably be a good thing.
Well, thank
So
you.
we don't always allude to who's homeschooled and who isn't on the show, so some of the characters may be, and we just haven't revealed them.
Okay. Well, that's all the questions we have, so...
Okay?
And I actually have a question for you. Like I saw that you were involved with the movie Beyond the Mask by the Burns family.
Oh, yes,
And I just thought that was really cool because I'm signed up for the acting and all that stuff. So I was
okay.
Oh, I know him. What
Yeah,
involved with that?
Yeah, contacted me a number of months ago about working with them on a script. And I was actually so intrigued by the idea that they pitched that a lot of times people ask me to work on scripts and I turn them down just because either the idea doesn't appeal to me or whatever. But in this case, I really liked Chad and Aaron and everybody associated with the film, and I loved the idea that they pitched. The core idea that they had I thought was really different and compelling. So I decided, I'd like to work with them on that. So I have been.
I'm really excited to start the production of that.
Yeah.
That's it, I think.
Okay. Well, it was really good talking to you guys, and thanks for calling.
Yeah, thanks for being on our podcast.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Abby and Mandie's Adventures in Odyssey podcast.
We also have a new thing we're going to start this week.
Yeah, if you have any Adventures in Odyssey art you've made, send them in, and whoever we think has the best art will have their name, either their first name or a made-up name they would like us to use, and their art featured on the podcast.
Unfortunately, we can't give away prizes at the moment because both Mandie and I don't have the money to buy prizes every week.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.